We back for another episode of Us, A2TP podcast, episode 264. We back for another episode of Us. It's me, it's her, it's your boy, International Walk, and the beautiful.
Your girl, Tasha, co-host with the
With
most.
no blush or anything, just beautiful when she wake up in the morning.
I'll put in a
with
little
coal
bit
in
of
her
blush.
eye. She might be a little funky in the morning, but she's still beautiful in the morning. So
I wash my parts every night.
I didn't say you didn't. You wash, sometimes twice a day. So
no, I'm saying every night.
Oh yeah, you're a night washer. You're not a morning washer.
No, I am a morning washer too, but
no, you're not listening to what I'm saying. You're being defensive. I'm not like you're not one of them people who take showers only in the morning.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You go to bed fresh and clean. You don't go to bed with the day on you. Like some people get in their sheets and be like, "Oh, I'll take my shower in the morning before I go to work."
I can't go to get in my sheets without washing, and I can't put on like new underwear without washing.
You're veering.
Sorry.
Episode 264. We back for another episode of Us.
How are you?
We're glad that y'all are here. We're glad that you are here. We're glad that we are here. Let's get right to the show. How are you?
I'm good. I am good. Mentally, if you had asked me this 10 hours ago, I probably would have said I was like an 8.
Wow.
But I am a 9.5. I just am so grateful for God. I feel like in this season of my life, God continues, and not that he has to like keep reminding me, but God knows us. God knows his children, and he continues to show up to remind me of all of the good in this season. Told y'all I lost my job. I was laid off, and I'm not sad about it in its totality, but I do have moments of sadness, and God just continues to remind me to like chill, sis, like you good. And I know I'm good, but and this specimen of a being here that God has given me is just, that's a shout in of itself. If y'all from church, that's a shout. So yeah, I'm like a 9.5. Thank you, God. Finances are a 9. I'm forever grateful. God continues to bless us, allow us to be a blessing to others. Just grateful for that. Work is a 10, because my work is, my work is my work. And that's that. And 15, in this moment, you okay? In this moment, I'm a 9, and I'm going to accept that right now. Ladies, I know we all get different symptoms with our menstrual. My worst symptom is headaches. So I've been, dealing with that the last like day and a half. But right now in this moment, I feel good. So I'm going to claim that, because when I don't feel good, I don't feel good. So I'm happy that in this moment I do. How are you?
I'm good.
Was that fast enough for you?
It was concise. Mentally, I would say I'm a 9. I feel great.
I love your smile.
Thank you. I get that a lot.
I don't give a hell what you get. No, go ahead.
Thank you though. But mentally, I feel like a 9. Yeah, everything is great, at ease. I'm glad to see you smiling and you happy. It gives an effect to me too. So it kind of, I might have got a point from you. But to see you upbeat and smiling, looking at this thing from a different way is a blessing. What's next? Finances is 8.5. I'm gonna say 8.5 on finances.
We got some money back.
Getting some money back.
Saved some $500. Yes.
It gets me closer to my goal. What else? Work's a 10. Work is great. No issues there. Wrapping up some stuff. Work has been great the last couple of weeks. Been tiring, but just great. This morning I did not want to get out of bed for shit. Like you seem like you warmer and warmer every goddamn day. Like I don't know who I lay down with, but shit, I did not want to get out of bed this morning. And physically I feel like a 10. I feel great. Got on the scale at the numbers I need to be at, still in the same vicinity.
That's good.
In the same ballpark.
The scale has been my friend too.
So yeah, I'm just chilling, man. I feel good, look good,
Your wows and woes this week?
Wows and woes. Let me see. Wows and woes. Thanking God that I just don't have no woes. Ain't nothing been beating me down. Ain't nothing been on my plate that I can't handle. So yeah, I thank God that woes haven't been inserted And maybe that's just the start of 2026, other than you losing your job. But other than that, we really ain't had no woes. And we're going to turn that from a woe to, yay. And my wow is just, wow. Wow, it's just life. Just life is just great. Yeah, I'm breathing. I'm happy. I'm not stressed out. I'm good. So life is life. Yeah, I'm happy and I'm high. So
always.
What about you?
My woe.
Definitely hate.
I wouldn't even necessarily say that I had any woes. I really wouldn't. Yeah, God has been good. I'm grateful. I got two wows I'm gonna throw in there. One just came about this evening. My husband surprised me with a little change in our routine, and it was just unexpected, appreciated. Everything don't have to be like bells and whistles and fireworks falling from the sky, but it still gives me that feeling when he is thoughtful and just reminds me of why. It just reminds me of the why. So I'm just extremely grateful for him. And my other wow is, I didn't grow up. I don't remember growing up like being one of those kids who like parents gave them stuff for Valentine's Day. Like I think we might have got stuff in school, but I remember having friends like one of my friends, Geneva, we used to live together, and I remember her like doting on her daughter for Valentine's Day. It would be like it would be like the pajamas, like with hearts on it. Like she would go, like I remember Children's Place would have stuff, or she would give her a basket with stuff. It might be a teddy bear, some pajamas, like all like Valentine's Day-ish things. And that was the first parent that I ever knew of. And now her daughter is about to be 30, so you're talking about like 27 years ago. And that I just thought like that was so decent, like just so awesome. And then growing up, with social media, you start seeing like, this is things that, parents do. And my sister, for her, the youngest three, the oldest two had dates. But the youngest three, she took them to the city. They live in Georgia, but they don't live in Atlanta. But she took them to the city to go to like one of their like favorite little burger restaurants or whatever that they like. And just, enjoyed that time, spending that time with them. And I just thought that was, it made me happy. If you know my sister's story, then and I'm just grateful for the life that she is living and being able to share with our kids. And just know, like, I would want to be that mom, for us to be that parents to, show that love and affection. We don't do a whole lot for Valentine's Day together, but I love seeing kids being, celebrated, because it's not just about romantic love. It's a day of love. So that just really made my heart smile, knowing that, she took them out for a date. She don't like going into the city because it's crowded and the traffic and all the things, but just knowing that, she took the time out to spend with the kids, and I know they enjoyed that. And those core memories, they'll grow up, having,
remembering that.
Yeah, and having those memories. Oh, I remember when mommy did this, or mommy took us here, or mommy did that. And that just really made my heart smile.
That is some cool shit. I never experienced that as a kid at all, like getting a flower or a card from your parent.
Yeah.
Like I always just assumed that was some shit that happened when I was grown. To hear you say that Geneva used to do it years ago is pretty cool. So maybe it was just social media for me to like just start seeing that stuff. And I actually think it's kind of corny, but nothing wrong with loving on your kids, but you don't need a day to do it. You know what I'm saying? And
well, right,
Erica,
of course.
She doesn't need a day to do it. She does that stuff regularly.
Absolutely.
Thank God now in her life. So yeah, I'm not with the social construct.
Mr. Contrarian here.
I'm not with the social construct. Not unless it's Christmas.
Everybody has their picks,
Not unless it's Christmas.
Everybody wants to rage against the machine with an asterisk.
I can rage but no asterisks. I can go, cold turkey, like off the grid.
You would not go cold turkey and not celebrate Christmas.
I wouldn't.
Exactly.
There's too much involved with it. It makes me think about my nana. Like, my best Christmases was there, so that's what it stems from.
Yeah, I get it. I do.
They fucking in Milan. I don't know if you heard this or not, but the Olympics, the Winter Olympics is open, and 10,000 condoms was available for the Olympians. In 72 hours, they needed more. Now, the record is Rio, where 457,000 condoms was used in the whole time they were in Rio.
Say how many?
457,000.
Wow.
Almost 500,000 condoms. And they said that for all the athletes that was there, it was almost like 42 condoms per athlete.
Wow. I mean, you got all these people coming from all over the world. You know, and the one thing that might be different about, because Rio was the Summer Olympics
that was
versus
in Brazil.
But versus athletes, the Winter Olympics. Yep. So I mean, it kind of makes sense. You got all these people coming from all over the world, not just Olympians that's probably getting together with other Olympians, but you're in a new place. You might have some sex workers that are, you know, they know people are in town, so you know they.
I was ready to say, do you think that's what it is, or do you think the participants, the athletes, are fucking like this? I mean, both. I know you're in Milan, so you know there's some sexual, you know, connotation there, but and in Brazil, you know, there's some sexual connotation there. And condoms, obviously, you know, you're trying to dodge AIDS and herpes and all that shit, but that is a lot of sex.
It is.
Sex workers, I could say, okay, yeah, y'all bringing in sex workers, or they know where to be to get the athlete. But if you thinking the athletes are fucking like this, like the swim girls, the volleyball girls,
that's the ski summer, girl,
the goddamn curling girls,
and the ice skaters.
The curling girls are fucking like that.
Well, you got to think about. I think it's a combination of both sex workers and the Olympians. But we also have to remember Olympians ain't that wealthy, so I don't think it's all. And I don't know how much sex workers are charging, but I don't think there's a whole bunch of money being spent on sex workers. But I think it is part of that. And you also have families that are. I mean, because not all Olympians are, you know, young people, meaning like, you know, teenagers and 20s. Right. I seen one Airbnb is like a sponsor, and I seen one commercial with an Olympian. I think the husband and wife are Olympians with their child. So I mean, you do have some families out there. But when you talk about a lot of, you know, 20 somethings in Italy with, you know, and let's not front, a lot of the Winter Olympic sports are not people that are melanated, you know, because it ain't a lot of us that are skiing. It ain't a lot of us that are bobsledding. Even though we had, what was the movie about the Jamaican bobsledders?
I'll think about it.
Yeah, whatever it was. But it ain't a lot of us that are curling. It ain't a lot of us playing hockey. It ain't a lot of us that are ice skating. So, you know, you got a lot of these Caucasian people or people from various regions of the Caucasus Mountains, whether it's Norway, Sweden, Russia, you know, Serbia, wherever they're coming from, even America, Canada, like wherever they're coming from, and they're known to be party sexers.
But it's almost, you just made it one.
Yeah.
But I guess it's like, my thought is you spend 4 years. Like, you see somebody train for 4 years and they go to run track and trip and fall. And they crying because they made a mistake. And they trained for so long. But you wouldn't think, like, the distraction of fucking would be that prevalent when you have such a huge job to do. You've been training for 4 years. You probably have 30 seconds to do your match or run, or whatever you're doing, a minute or so, like a short amount of time compared to the time you train. I don't know what event you're in.
Right.
But compared to the time you train, it's such a short amount of time for it to be sexual distractions. Like, I could see probably letting some steam off, but that seems like casual fun fucking. But that many condoms.
But how many Olympians are there?
I think it's 154 in the Winter Olympics. It was like 294 in the Summer Olympics.
You mean 1,000?
No.
154.
Yeah. I mean, no, not 1,000. I'm sorry. I might have that number wrong. I got to do something.
Yeah, but I say that might just be from one country.
It's not a few 100,000 Olympians.
No, okay, yeah. Not a few 100,000.
Opening, when the ceremony opens, it's not that many.
Right, that's true. So,
Olympians.
Yeah, I know it's more than 154. I think it might just be 154 from the U.S.
Yes.
So but I mean, in totality. So when you, and of course, again, not everybody's out there screwing, but when you think about the total number and, you know, you break that down, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot, but I'm not surprised. And you got a lot of these people, again, you got to remember, they may I don't want to think about it as like they just having sex with strangers, because like you know how when you run in track, like you do the net, like you do all these other meets, like the nationals and this and this and
Right,
this. So you're
states and
seeing
all
all
that.
these people, even like like you're racing against other countries in other races before you make it to
To
the
the
Olympics.
Olympics, right?
So
Yeah,
these might be people that you see throughout your year,
that you've been
throughout
competing
yeah, or
against.
throughout this 4 years, that you're waiting to get to the Olympics, that you're competing against or that you're seeing often. And then, and some people, it may just be like, this a once in a lifetime thing. I may never see this person again. Some people have that rationale of like a one night stand kind of thing.
That is a lot of condom. I mean, 10,000 is a lot to me. That just seems like a huge number in 3 days.
Yeah.
In 3 days, y'all are like, hey, we need more Trojans. Like, that's insane. And then for the record to be 500,000.
But let's not assume they're all being used either, because some guys may be like, oh, let me take these and put them in my wallet just in case.
Yeah.
And they end up not even using
it. The ones that end up with dirt in them.
Yeah, exactly. Or they ended up,
That's crazy. Talking about sex, is unconditional love real except kids and parents? Like, do you think we could love each other unconditionally without any condition?
No.
Whether it be me taking care or of you, or just doing the things that I have to do, that's a condition. So can unconditional love exist other than your kids and parents?
Well, first of all, I don't even think it exists with kids and parents, unfortunately.
Well, you have to say we've seen the disconnect where I know you're going with it, but we also seen the flip side of that where a guy could be a mass murderer and that's my baby. He ain't do nothing wrong.
No.
I'm saying it goes both ways.
Right. I'm not saying there's no but I'm
right.
just saying it's like kids and parents. I don't think there's always unconditional love.
No, not always.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I wasn't saying it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying like, unfortunately, kids and parents don't always have that either. That dynamic either.
I guess that's what we're taught, or that's what we hope that that kids and parents have unconditional love.
Unfortunately, it just don't work like that all the time for some people. However, no, I don't. I don't think that it's a real thing, because I think there are always conditions to. Let me say this. There's nothing that could stop me from loving you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that there isn't anything that could stop me from being in love with you. Like, if you stop being the person that you are, in the sense of like turning violent or cheating or disrespecting me, like that would grow us apart.
Mm-hmm.
I think in my heart I would still care about you and love you, but be away from you. So maybe I'm contradicting myself. Maybe
I'm about to say it sounds like it a little bit, but I might be receiving it wrong.
No, maybe there is a thing of unconditional love, but in a emotional sense, but not in a physical sense. Like, I may not always show you that I love you, so maybe that's the condition. But emotionally, I would always love you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe it is a thing. It is a thing, because again, I can think of a lot of things that could stop me from You need a water? A lot.
Take a sip though.
A lot of things, not a lot, but there are things that could stop me from, like I said, being in love with you, or that could divide us.
I feel like the same way. Like, there's things you can do that can stop us from being in love. But there's nothing that can stop me from loving you from a distance or caring about you. If I ever was asked the rest of my life, do you love Tasha? The answer would be yes.
Yeah.
1,000 times yes.
Yeah.
We're just not in love.
Right. If something was to happen to that effect, like
she beat me and I left.
There are people in our, not in our lives, that we may have contentious relationships with, that we still love. We don't want any bad to happen to them, but again, that the condition part comes. I think the conditions come into play in how you will receive my love. That's where the conditions come into play.
If you're just talking about unconditional love, I think that exists. Now, the whole being in love thing, that changes things. But unconditional love, just to say, hey, I love that person, that exists. That exists other than kids and parents. I think it exists in dogs too, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I think it's a thing.
You think dogs have unconditional love for people?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because they don't know any better.
Hell
yeah. Yeah, because some people,
I think they do. I think they do. I just think the dog knows who his person is. The person that takes care of him and feeds him and shelters him. I think the dog gives his love to that person, hoping for more of it.
Yeah, but that person could also beat him and be mean to him, and the dog will still be loyal to him.
That's true.
So that's why I'm saying, like, they don't, it's like they know, like, okay, this is the person that's being good to me, but they ignore the fact that this person could also be being bad to them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say, like, they don't know any better. But from a human standpoint, yeah, I think unconditional love can be a real thing. And I think that probably could be the measure of what we would consider real love. Because I don't know how to stop loving you.
No, I mean, how do you stop loving anybody that you love?
I think you can be hurt enough you can be hurt enough to stop loving somebody, or somebody.
Well, then I can hurt you enough for you to stop loving me. If you that's a contradiction. You can't look at me.
I guess knowing the person that you are, there's nothing that I could imagine you doing where other people have done things where it's like, I don't love them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a little different where, there's some acts against people, children, that could like make me not.
Yeah, I get it.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about you specifically, just knowing who you are, your character, that doesn't apply. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So yeah, I do think that unconditional love. But again, I think some people love in conditions that it shouldn't be too.
Like what? Finances being the
that shouldn't be the measuring stick.
The measure, the bar.
Yeah, being
what you make.
Sickness and health.
That's a big one.
Like people say that they just let that roll off their tongue when they're giving their vows.
That's a big one.
And they don't really know what that entails. Like they don't know.
That don't mean the fucking flu.
Yeah.
That don't mean the flu. Make some soup, go to Rite Aid, get some fucking cough syrup. That means person had a stroke, person had a heart attack, person.
You can't have sex for 6 months. Yeah, or ever.
Paralyzed now. You can't have sex for 6 months. Like where you at now? Yeah, that shit get real when things get like that.
Yeah. So I think that's and not to say every relationship needs that kind of test, but those kind of tests, it kind of peels back the onion a little bit. My sister recently, and I don't think she would have a problem with me sharing this, but she recently, had a procedure done, nothing serious. And she even talked about in her relationship, like, you look at a person differently when you see how they take care of you in your time of need. Like it makes you, and it could be good or bad. And fortunately for her, it was a good thing, but without like having to give a person instructions and just seeing what they want to do, just because my nose is itching so bad. I'm sorry I keep scratching it. But just seeing how a person is going to move and shake for you when it's time to.
And there's no right or wrong. It's just how you respond to my needs.
Well, I'm not going to say it's not a right or wrong, because you could handle me the wrong way.
No, yeah. Well, besides like handling you the wrong way, I'm just saying if you're trying to do things right, there is no book or anything. Like you've never been through that before. So you're just trying to show up as much as you can in all needs possible. But you don't know what to do. You don't know how to act.
Yeah, but some
people...
not
to be mean, but...
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I say there is a right or wrong, because some people could feel like, what you mean, like, you need me to help you wash, like, what you mean you can't cook, or what you mean you need me to bring you this, to bring you that. Like, some people could not be up for that challenge. And, like...
I guess I'm not talking to them, then.
I'm just saying that could be the wrong. Like, again, because you wouldn't want to, like you said, there's no book. I've been sick, and you had to like show up in a way that I wouldn't have known. You did things that I wouldn't have even known to ask you to do. Like, because you just felt like, okay, this is how I'm supposed to take care. And I hope that I showed up in the same way for you in your time of need. There's no book, but imagine in hindsight, looking back, had things been done differently, it would be like, damn, like,
it makes you look at the person differently. And when it's good, you can't help but to be drawn or love that person even more. Because when your pride and all that stuff, and you at need, especially if somebody washes you or wipes you or something like that, it's a different ball game. That shit hasn't happened to you since you were a baby.
And you don't remember.
Yeah, it's like, so if it's
and you talking about vulnerability.
Yeah, so it's like, it makes you look. And if it doesn't happen, if you get stuck in the bathroom somewhere and somebody ain't coming to help you,
that's what I mean when I say there is a wrong way of like I ain't wiping your butt. Like, what you mean? Like, you gotta figure it out. And you like, what am I supposed? You better get a nurse. I mean, I'm just there. People could not show up for you.
No, that's true.
Or they could be running the streets with their homies or something, knowing like, hey, I'm here, like I'm a little incapacitated right now, like I can't feed myself. You come home like, I'm hungry. I eat all day because I couldn't make it up the steps to the bathroom. So there is a wrong way to handle a person, and you would hope that you don't have to like give specific instructions. But that's why I say, if you sit back and just watch how a person handle you, like you said, that can make you just love them that much more, because it's like I may not have known what to ask for, and you may not have known what to do, but you showed up and you did your best.
It worked out.
I
got better, and it all stayed together. So that's the cool part about it. What do you think is an unattractive zodiac sign? Why don't you just give me 3? We grew up and we know the zodiac signs and what we are and who we think we're attracted to, or what people say signs. This sign is attracted to this sign is that. But what do you think that are 3 unattractive zodiac signs, whether you had experience with them or it's like
all right, the first time I'm gonna say is a Taurus. And okay, I have an example. One personally, not like a romantic relationship, but one personally, and then 2 from somebody else in 2 romantic relationships. All Tauruses, all not good people. Not good people in the sense of.
But what did you hear about Tauruses?
They are, they're very bossy, which is okay if you've earned that. And in this situation, and I'm going to say Taurus males, because you said in a relationship.
You been snorting that dope?
No, my nose, the outside of my nose
people going to think you've been snorting that dope.
The outside of my nose is itching so bad.
They going to think you're snorting that dope. That's going to be in the comments.
And I'm like, maybe the weather, I don't know if it's pollen or something outside. Yeah.
There's no pollen outside when it's this cold. Nothing on the trees.
I don't know what is happening. I promise I ain't do no drugs. But it's not the inside of my nose.
Cokehead was saying it's pollen outside in the winter.
Don't put that on my jacket. I have never done drugs.
You have not.
Except marijuana. I have never sniffed it. I sniffed the candy sugar out the straws when we was a kid.
Burnt your nose?
I have never done any drugs, but my nose is itching like crazy. But yes, I'm gonna say Taurus males. They're very bossy in the sense of like very controlling, but that's okay if you've earned the right to be that way. And in those 3 situations, none of them had. So that's the impression I have on them. Y'all might have a Taurus man in your life that has earned that. I don't have that experience, that firsthand or secondhand. Secondly, I'm gonna say Virgo.
Okay.
Personal experience, very young, prior to my husband. My 2 first real boyfriends were both Virgo. Actually, 3 boyfriends were Virgos.
And what's the downside to Virgos?
I feel like in hindsight, they were very nonchalant, and like until I shook things up, then it's like very nonchalant, and they're like, all right, I love you, like we cool, like not. I need you to chalant me, like I need. I need some chalant. I need to know, like I don't need that cool Mr. You know what it is, go with the flow. When I was younger, I knew I didn't need that. probably why God gave me a man that gives me all the shalance. That's just something that I remember of like that, not very like affectionate and doting and like I need to know that you about me. And then I remember like situations where it was like, I wasn't I was a little bit of a kid into like a older teenager, but it was like, all right, well now I don't want to do this no more. Oh, now it's like you knocking on my door like, nah, you ain't leaving me. Like, no, where was all of this before? So that's one of the signs. So I would say, and then this might sound weird. I have no experience, but I would say a Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn. Really? I couldn't imagine being with a male version of me.
Yeah. He'd be a pussy.
Why would you say that?
He would.
He's so emotional. Yeah, I feel like I don't think that's being. I think I love it. You show your emotions. I love a man that shows their emotions, but you can't be as emotional. If you are as emotional as me, then I think that's going to bring out more of my masculine side, and I don't want to be that way. I might pop you upside the head.
What masculine side do you have?
I could be. I don't have to be with you. I can have all my femininity out because you bring all the masculinity. But if you was soft, I think that would make me harder.
Okay.
Like I would feel.
But what's that look like? Have you ever had to be that way? Like.
With
that would go
I
with
think
the
more
look,
like in a workplace
and shit like that.
No, I don't mean like that. More aggressive side, more assertive maybe. I don't mean masculine. Okay, maybe masculine is the wrong
like
word.
How you be like, what's up with that ass? Like, come on. Like, that's how you be?
No, I just mean I would probably have to be more of like the type A if they were type B.
The alpha type if you was dealing with a beta.
Yeah. And again, I'm not saying that's how Capricorn men are. I've never experienced life with one. I think about like Steve Harvey. I think about Tyrese. Like these are Capricorn men. And it could be a great thing. I don't think men showing their emotions is anything wrong with it. I love that vulnerability. My husband is a ball of emotions, but I think his more assertiveness supersedes that, and that's what I need. So I'm saying Taurus from a non-romantic experience, Virgo from personal experience, and then Capricorn just from what I perceive I would not like. And I could be completely wrong, but I don't know.
All of mine is just from perception. I don't really remember personal like birthdays and signs and stuff like that from past relationships.
So who do you think it would be?
So my first real girlfriend birthday was September the 28th. What's that?
That is a Libra.
That's a Libra?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. So the reflection of that would be, I couldn't even put like a finger on it. Like wild, upbeat. I don't know. I don't know how to.
See, without you knowing multiple people, it's hard for you to judge. I think you wouldn't do well with a Leo.
Definitely not a Leo. That's like you being with a Capricorn.
Yeah, I think y'all would butt heads.
Yeah, that's like.
I also think
2 dicks on the table. Pause.
a Taurus. Yeah, I can see because they the controlling bossiness of it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you would do well.
Sagittarius and Geminis? No?
I don't think that would be a problem for you. I think an Aquarius. They're very laid back. I don't think
Who do I know is my brother's an Aquarius.
I don't think you do. I don't think you would do well.
Aries.
With a laid back person. Oh God.
Aries.
You don't know enough people in there.
No, Aries. No.
Aries, I that's a good one too, because from the Aries I know, again, they are very kind of nonchalant. They're emotional, but they are not. They put on like this mask of, nonchalance, but they are.
They got chalant.
Yeah. They got chalance under their mask. They want to act like they don't care, but they're emotional. But they put on a veil. That's what it is. They put on a veil, but they are emotional.
Aries. I never had too many interactions with like all them other like the the most popular signs is Leo, Capricorn, Gemini, Cancer. Like there's very few people that I knew was Pisces and Libras and that kind of thing.
Pisces, our youngest sister and our two of our nieces.
So you know that shit right off the bat because you just know birth. And then how do you know that if the birthday in the middle of the month and you know the dates
there's a cutoff date.
You got the dates memorized?
For most of them, yeah.
Wow. We have way too much time in here. That's insane.
Oh my God, my nose. I got critters.
Moving on. What's a failure you're grateful for?
I would think
what did you suck at that ended up being like that wasn't that bad?
I failed the drug test.
I told y'all she was on the butter.
No, I have to say.
Snort that shit.
No, and I failed the drug test. That was back in 2002. And I was going to work at PNC Bank, and I was no longer smoking marijuana, but it had not been enough time for me
to pass your system.
Yeah, for me to.
Did you do all the things?
You and your brother had me drinking.
Wanted you to tell the story. Yes. I noticed. Did you do all the things?
Had me drinking vinegar, and that didn't. I threw it up. It was disgusting. That didn't work. So took the test, showed up for orientation. They came and pulled me out of orientation. Took back my mug. Took back my pen. They sent me home. But it was the best redirection that ever happened in my life. Because of that. I didn't work there. The next job offer I got was, it was for Independence Blue Cross. It was through a temp agency, but it was a permanent position. They called me and was like, we got this job. It's permanent. You're going to start this day. And I remember I called the lady back and I said, I just want to let you know that I'm not going to be able to pass the drug test. So I'm not going to show up for the job, but I don't smoke anymore. But hopefully you'll still keep me in mind for future positions. And I'm so grateful that I didn't play myself and go and show up. She ended up calling me again for a temp position. And I ended up being at that job for 9.5 years. Left there to go then work at Independence Blue Cross. So had I went to the job for Independence Blue Cross, failed the drug test, later on down the line, I wouldn't have been able to apply again for it. So I would say, and that kind of started my career in the healthcare industry. So had I not failed that drug test, you
still would have been there.
I possibly could have been there at the. Well, no, that was at the bank, at PNC Bank. So who knows where my career... I had worked at a bank prior to that, but who knows where my career would have been.
You could have been a banker.
I could have been
an investment banker.
I could have been that, that wasn't the plan that God had for me. So that was a failure that,
He knew he didn't want you playing with the money.
What about you?
Life, man. Becoming a fugitive and living through that. That was a huge failure in my life, putting myself in a situation like that. So yeah, that was the biggest failure that happened in my life. It lasted for 23 years, and on the back end of it, who I became and who I am now today, it had to be that way. I wouldn't have become this person had I had a different life, had I wouldn't have been in that situation. Not saying that I would do it again. I would learn the lesson another way, become this man a different way. You being my wife and being my girlfriend, my fiance, my wife at all those steps, that played a huge part. But yeah, that's the biggest failure that I've ever done in my life is screw it up for 23 years.
So, so the failure is, but that sounds so harsh to say you failed at life.
I did, babe. I became a fugitive. I was, what do you call excommunicated? Out of the church, out of life, out of society. I used to stand in rooms and be like, everybody in here legit, not me. That's a thing. I failed that life. There was shit that I couldn't do. I couldn't be me. that's a failure. Like that you set
That's
yourself
so
up or
heavy.
did something that now you can't even be yourself.
So how do you just okay, you failed that season of your life? Like how
Yeah.
do you
Up until that point, that's all the life that I had. To deal with all the years that I had to.
But let's think about how we can reframe that. Like you failed at remaining legal. Like I don't know, just saying you failed at life just sounds so heavy. Like you failed at remaining legal or you failed at not at living a crime-free life. But to say you failed at life, like you still are living and you still have life and you are excelling. I'm not accepting you saying
Okay,
you
well,
failed at life.
That portion of my life, up until I was 19 years old, that portion of my life, yeah.
You failed at not becoming a fugitive. Like we can say this a lot of ways, but I am not accepting you saying I failed at life.
Truths, and you can have
You
your
can
truths.
have your truths. I just don't want you to like that. Just feels so heavy to put on your jacket.
But it's over with, and it's
Okay.
it was worn already. The jacket is off, so it's like
No, your jacket is your jacket. You always got your jacket. You just add new things to it. So that's what I'm saying. To have it's like having it's like having a
Letterman jacket.
Yeah, and you get different badges at different things for your life. Or like you know how the Girl Scouts have their sash.
Life, I had a big fat F. Okay. What does that mean in school? You repeat the grade. You failed. That's what they tell you. You failed. Sometimes they write failure.
Yeah, but now this part of your life, what would you Letterman? What would you be adding to your Letterman jacket?
Number one Letterman, A, whatever the top Letterman thing is, it would be that. But for that time, that's just how I see it. Okay. Like I didn't do the things that I was supposed to do. My head wasn't on straight. I made decisions that affected my life for a quarter of a century.
All right, let me ask you this: what is something that you recently learned about yourself, like something new that you discovered about yourself?
I have more patience. I have more patience. Yep, that's what I've learned about myself, and I think I got that from work. Okay. Who I work with. Okay. But I know that.
Have you been intentional in developing more patience, or you just kind of found yourself? Was it just a realization that you came to?
I found myself initially with more patience, and then leaned into it. Like I noticed, like, oh shit, some things I might have popped off about. It was just like nothing now. Okay. Because I guess that's just knowing your audience. But I realized in myself I have more patience than I assumed I had. Like I always had a short fuse, and I thought it was a little longer, and then I realized it's a little longer.
What do you think that came from?
Knowing your audience.
I mean, knowing your audience, do you think it came from, because you've experienced some loss in your life, like familial relationships, friendships? Do you, not that your health conditions that you overcame, do you think any of those impacted you because you said it wasn't something you worked at, you just kind of realized it. Do you think that subconsciously those things led to you having more patience?
I think that probably was when I said initial. You said most recently I said I have more patience. Right. Another time I learned that I had some patience was obviously when I had a health scare. Okay. And I had to sit down and not move and not do the things that I wanted to do. Couldn't work out. All that kind of stuff. So yeah, that initially was like, hey, but again, that's not, that's almost forced.
So that kind of planted the seed, and then
not really planted the seed, because it's like doing something you don't want to do. So it's like it's not a real revelation on your part. It's just I have to do this.
But so you having to do that. Then do you think that kind of calmed something in you that allowed it to bloom in other areas?
I'm sure it has, because it gave me time to sit and create the space. Like sit with the disappointment, the frustration, the hurt, all that kind of things, and sit with it, and then learn how to cope and deal with it. So yeah, that creates the space where you don't feel antsy, you don't feel like you're all over the place and frustrated. So yeah, I'm sure it planted the seed, it created something, but there's a few times in my life where I learned patience. Like dealing with you, being married to you, I learned patience.
Right.
So, and I'm not saying that in a sense like you run my patience low, but you just got to learn patience in marriage.
Right.
And yeah, and that other time and the 2 times I just spoke about.
Okay. I think for me, there was a time when I used to be very emotional. Like, you used to always say, I'm soft and pink, I'm soft and pink, I'm soft and pink. Like, I was just super emotional and gushy.
Very.
And then it was a time where you used to say, like,
you were a rock.
I was a rock, and I hardened up. And when I look back at that time, you know what I thought? I think things were happening in my life where I knew that I had to set boundaries, going through like therapy and a healing journey, and I don't think I knew how to remain soft and set boundaries. And I think something like happened, like the things that were happening in my life hardened me in a way, and I thought it was necessary to be that way in order to set boundaries. And now I think I'm easing back into a space of realizing, like, no, I can still be soft and have boundaries. Like, I can still.
So you thought you had to be hard, like I got to be tough to,
like,
to create the boundaries, so people don't cross the boundaries.
Exactly. And now I think I know I'm realizing and learning in this season that, and not just this season, I think I just realized that, like, I feel the softening of my heart without relinquishing my boundaries. Like, I can still have those boundaries and be soft. Like, I don't have to be hard and emotionless and be a rock to have those boundaries. I can still be loving and keep those boundaries in place. And that feels better for me. It almost feels like me being hard was like not who I wanted to be. Like, when you would say that, I would feel it in myself, but I couldn't like necessarily pinpoint why. And I think like that has been a revelation for myself of realizing, like, I've learned that you can still have those boundaries and you can still be soft and loving and caring and have boundaries like an MFer.
I think in living through it and being next to you, I think that's true, that it was partly you, but I think it was also partly the people that you was creating the boundaries with. I think like what I hear is you create these boundaries and now you have to protect them and show people that they're real boundaries and don't cross them. So I gotta be like, I got these boundaries, you better not come across this line. I told you this is a boundary. Mm-hmm. And once you get to a point where they respect the boundary and there's no more looking over the boundary and dipping a toe over it and playing with it, now I'm relaxed enough to chill and I don't have to watch the boundary as much because y'all know already.
Yeah.
The people who I have the boundaries with, already, don't play with the boundary. Maybe in the beginning you would play with the boundary and test the boundary, so I had to be, don't you fuck with my boundary. But now it's at a point where you don't even come near the boundary, you respect the boundary, and now I can relax.
And even still, I want to still be able to relax, even if people try to cross those boundaries, and not allowing that to harden me. Like,
but you used to sleep with one eye open looking at the boundary.
Yeah.
Like, making sure nobody was crossing the boundary. Even at 3 o'clock in the morning, like, ain't nobody cross the motherfucking boundary. But now it's like, yeah, the boundary there, but people know. Not to go near my boundary.
Yeah, I don't have to sleep with one eye open. I can sleep peacefully and still knowing, like, nah, like, the boundary's still in place. Mm-hmm. So that's something recently I learned. I kind of, I got a lot of time on my hands and thinking about myself. Thinking about myself, so,
it's all good. It's all good. Grams.
Yep.
Floyd and Mike Tyson fighting. I don't necessarily, I'm not super excited about this other than entertainment, but the last time Mike fought Jake Paul, he looked like a statue, just a statue.
I'm ready to take a nap just thinking about it.
I'm just saying, Floyd, it's always an entertaining thing, a spectacle. Probably $300 million for Floyd, $150 million for Mike. But I think in July.
Let me just say this, and I know Floyd was the best at what he did, his record and all that. and I have been very vocal with you about this since we are boxing fans. I was never entertained by Floyd, and I know
in the beginning you were.
Well, I was until before I was a fan and knew like other really watch boxing. Floyd is a defensive boxer, which I get. That's the goal, not to get hit, right? You don't want to get knocked out. He's not like he's not. It ain't even like a Gervonta Davis where it's like, all right, he's being defensive, but you waiting for the knockout. You probably not gonna get that with Floyd. He's just going to make sure he doesn't get hit and that he wins.
He put belt to ass for 12 rounds.
Yeah, but with that being said, like you said, the last exhibition fight with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, the way Mike Tyson looked, I just feel like, who's paying to see this? We're not buying this. Like, who is...
In the pre-fight, he was naked on camera. Mike Tyson did an interview with his ass out.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... I don't know. It's just
Floyd the pre-fight?
No.
Yeah. He did an
interview and walked away from the camera with his ass out. Yeah, his cheeks out. Like Mike is.
And Mike Tyson's wife, like I thought before, she had some say in like stopping him from like proceeding with this. You know, I don't think they need the money, but maybe they do.
Yeah, I think Mike owed like $15 million in taxes at one time. I don't know if that's all paid off or what, but once you pay that off, now you got to live. And Mike don't live in a row home.
We going grocery shopping when that fight come on, because I'm not interested.
I mean,
I just don't feel like it's going to be anything.
I can sit here now and say I don't want to pay $85 for it, but I damn sure want to see it. I mean, you know, I damn sure want to see it.
I think that's what happened with all of Floyd's fights. People, it's like that FOMO. Fear of missing out. Like you think like it's Floyd, you gotta watch it, you might miss something, and then you buy it and then you regret it because you like, damn, I knew it was gonna be the same old, same old.
2 or 3 fights that you probably regret. But when he fought the dude who headbutted him, the Spanish guy, that was a great fight. When he fought Sugar Shane and dude parachuted into the ring, that was a good fight. When he beat Zab Judah up, that was a good fight. He had a lot of good fights, but then he had some ones where it was like nobody got knocked down and he just beat people up for 12 rounds and didn't get hit.
He's not that entertaining to me. I need him to like walk away with a black eye or something. Like he's just not that entertaining to me.
He's a fighter. He's undefeated.
What can I charge you $85 for? If you gonna pay them $85 for that, I'm more entertaining than that.
You want me to answer that? You would need the OnlyFans. They pay $85 and bust it open. That's what they gonna.
I ain't worth $85.
I said they'll pay $85 to see you bust it open.
You.
You wouldn't bust it open for $85.
You know I wouldn't. I ain't that
Put
cheap.
my foot up your ass.
No,
That's what's gonna happen. Stephen A. Smith is going to be in the midterms. Like I heard about this about a year ago.
People said this was coming.
He was positioning himself to be more of a
politician.
Yeah, but a not a preservative.
Conservative.
A conservative.
Preservative. He keeping the food fresh.
He's a jam. He's a fig. A conservative.
That's preserves, baby.
And he had. Isn't it a preservative? No.
Preservatives keeps food fresh. Preserves are jams and marmalade.
All right, I like a marmalade.
You like a chutney.
A chutney too. But yeah, he's entering the midterms this November, I think it is. So what's your thoughts on Stephen A. Smith being a politician and not necessarily for us?
But what is he running for? Like state representative or something?
I guess you got to start out on levels. I don't think he's gonna bust out like, hey, I want to be governor or some shit like that. Like, I think it's a ladder you got to climb.
I mean, Stephen A. Smith is an educated man.
He's an orator, yes.
In the sports arena, being an orator, that just means you speak well. But I mean, he's an educated man in the sports arena and journalism. So maybe he has. Hell, Kim K was going to law school to be a lawyer. Nowadays, anybody can do whatever they want. The president was, an orange man that, we know all the things. So I'm not surprised.
What do you think about a man as popular as him being black, not necessarily being for us? I guess that's more.
I'm not surprised. And the thing is, too, when you talk about, prior to this administration, being a Republican more so was indicative that, as far as my knowledge, like they were more, my grandfather on my father's side was a Republican. And I always took that as those people were more conservative. Republicans were more business driven. Their goal, their initiatives, right, were more so for financial gain. That's how I always perceived that. Whereas Democrats were more liberal, more for the people. Guns. Well, but I mean more. But I'm just saying my thoughts. Okay. Without the guns, I always thought they were more for capitalism and for money, and Democrats were more for the people. That could be very narrow-minded, but that's what I always thought. Yeah. But in this day and age, knowing what the Republican Party is promoting, for him, I just feel like to come out and want to run during this administration is dangerous. Now, one could say he wants to change the perception of that party, but I don't know if he really has the ability to do so as far gone as they are as a single individual.
And being fresh into it, like he can get spun not knowing the politics of being a politician.
What state is he running in? Where does he live? I don't
know. I think might be Pennsylvania. It might be Pennsylvania, but he lives in New Jersey.
So he would have to be running in New Jersey.
But you could switch that up, though.
But I think it may be some residency requirements to it. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not surprised. Again, look, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator, was governor before.
Jesse Ventura.
You know, wasn't he a wrestler? So I mean, I'm not surprised. And again, especially because people have been saying that this was where he was headed. So I'm not surprised. I might be a little bit surprised that he is running on the conservative side, because I don't know if I would have assumed that about him. But the fact that he's running, I'm not surprised.
Nowadays, I've seen some interviews with him and some on some political platforms on what's the British dude name?
Yeah, I know you're talking about Piers Morgan.
Yeah, on his show, and like the talking points just doesn't fit like our black people. Like he has a lot of conservative viewpoints, and I have conservative viewpoints myself. But we all for the people. Like people are struggling now, and we want to get the country back to where it was, not condemn it even more. And to be in this administration helping them, because you're gonna have to help them. You got to be in the administration and work against them.
Because who's gonna vote for you?
Yeah, and you're on that side anyway. So a lot of stuff gonna come through you. You're gonna have to vote on a lot of shit that ain't necessarily good for the people.
For Donald Trump.
A lot of people with money did, because they thought taxes and all that kind of stuff. Come April or January, whatever the fuck it happens, when they have to pay taxes, it's a huge amount. So yeah. I would think so too. I don't like it. That's my take on it. I don't like it because not only because of his conservative viewpoints. Like I said, I have some too, but I just don't think listening to his podcast, listening to his interviews, he talks against a lot of stuff. Like tries to defend the ICE people when they shot that lady. Like he had a bunch of like points that was like, whoa, what the fuck are you talking about? Like stuff's on video. So I don't like it.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, I don't like it. So if you're gonna infiltrate, but don't be a double agent, because that's not good.
Or an agent for them. Like when you pick a side, you gotta stand there. So let's see how.
Yeah, but the double agent where you black and you can maneuver in these rooms because you got that swag and you got those connections, but then you over there too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the double agent stuff that you can't do. Not in this climate. You can't be on the fence. Like pick a side.
You know whose opinion I would like to hear about, and not. Do I really care? No, but I would like to hear it. I would like to hear Candace Owens' opinion about him. Her being a conservative, again, just for my own entertainment, I would like to hear it.
I'd like to see him on her podcast, to see them go back and forth, because she's super smart.
But they may agree on things, so.
Yeah. That's a wrap. Back to the podcast 264, a close. It's me, it's her, your boy International Walk.
Your girl Tasha goes with the Moses.
By now, y'all should. If you don't, I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Itchy. But if y'all fuck with us, y'all fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace.
Hey, no, seriously, is my nose like swollen?